JD Reacts. So if you're new, could you like, subscribe and comment please? So today we've got a bit of a controversial one, as you can tell by the title. So is Revolution number 9 the worst Beatles song? So it was included on the White Album, which was released in 1968, and it was definitely the most experimental Beatles album. If you look at the tracks, it's disjointed, no cohesion, quite messy. That's not to say it's not good, but there is certainly some filler and cutaways, and I think everyone would agree with that, hopefully. So Revolution number 9 is dismissed and hated almost because of how avant-garde and experimental it is. So when it was released, the NME critic Alan Smith said it was pretentious and an example of idiot immaturity. I think that's quite harsh and it misses the point of the song. So who says a track, straightforward song with lyrics and a melody? Or if you look at John Cage, really popular, influential musician, or even Lou Reed, he did an album full of feedback. This was definitely John Lennon, Yoko Ono and George Harrison experimenting with what they could create with sounds. So a bit of a basic fact about the song. So as I said before, it was George Harrison, Yoko Ono and John Lennon. It's a sound collage inspired by Edgar Varese. I hope I'm pronouncing that name right. But also, I think kind of disregarded, it was also, apparently Yoko Ono said that George Harrison instigated the song because on his debut album, Wonderwall, he did a dream scene, which is quite avant-garde and experimental. And that was somewhere he wanted to explore with his music. So this collage is an unnerving interruption of the album. It's an audible representation of what a revolution would sound like. So earlier in the album, there's the revolution. And that's kind of a follow-up on that, but not wanting or wishing it. It's happening right in front of your eyes. And if you look what was happening in the 60s with the Vietnam War, there was Bobby Kennedy, JFK, civil rights movement. This was a real possibility with what was going to happen. I mean, in places there were the destruction, chaos, murders. So it's happening in front of their eyes and nothing was out of the question, as you can hear by this song. So I'm not going to play you the whole song because I'm sure you don't want me to react to an 8-minute sound collage. That'll be boring for you. But I'm going to play you little bits so you get my reference points. So I'll just start off with the famous introduction.
Number 9, number 9, number 9, number 9, number 9.
This bit. You can hear the start of Revolution earlier in the album. So that kind of shows it's a progression and a representation of what this revolution will look like. So that number 9, really famous. They'd found tapes of EMI engineers and John Lennon thought it was funny that he would just keep repeating the number 9, popping up in different places. So that number is really important to John Lennon also. It was his birthday, the 9th of October. It was his lucky number. It's also when he changed his name to John Ono Lennon. His and Yoko Ono's name collectively contained 9 O's. That number 9 also started a few conspiracy theories. So I'm going to play this little bit here. So when Revolution 9 is reversed, this is what it says. Turn me on, dead man. There was rumours circulating that Paul McCartney had died in a car crash. I think it was when Tara Brown, who I mentioned in a previous video, who inspired A Day in the Life song, he was with Paul McCartney after a party and was on a motorbike and he'd had to brake suddenly, flipped over the front and chipped his tooth and his lip, busted his lip. Yeah, there was rumours that he died in that accident. If I'm wrong in the comments about that, it might have been a different car accident. Let me know please, I'd be interested. So also, lovely Rita was quite influential in this rubbish conspiracy theory because apparently McCartney was distracted by Rita. And I think when Yoko Ono says something like, let's get naked or let's strip, it's supposed to say backwards, now first there were 2, now there are none. referring to Rita and Paul. Again, I've made my thoughts clear on this. It's a load of rubbish, absolute Tommy rot. So I'm not going to be pretentious here and say that Revolution 9 is the best Beatles song of all time. I think it's underrated. I think it's really clever. I'm a fan of the avant-garde, so again I can appreciate where it came from and the message behind it. I like the fact that they were branching out with different ideas. The White Album was them just really having fun and exploring what they could have done. It also, less influenced by the music companies, they had a lot more agency in their work. So it's said that George Martin and Paul McCartney really didn't like the song and fought against it being in the album. I think that might have been misconstrued because Paul McCartney was away on a business trip with his record label Apple when John, George and Yoko were making this song. And I think Paul felt almost quite betrayed because he'd introduced John to some of the avant-garde stuff and made his intentions clear that he wanted to experiment with his music. So then, when he came back and found out they'd mixed this song, it was quite of a betrayal almost. George Martin actually said in an interview, he said he loves Revolution number 9. You could sit in front of those two speakers and actually see things happening if you shut your eyes. It wasn't music, but it was a sound picture. I think that's perfect description. There's more to music than lyrics and melodies. So that's early 60s period of the Beatles kind of set a tone of what their music would be and earlier fans would expect it. So when they came out with stuff like this, it kind of shocked people. And I think this song's meant to shock. It's meant to challenge people and make you feel uncomfortable. Because Revolution isn't comfortable. That's the whole point, you're uprising. And I think that was what John, George and Yoko were going for. So it wouldn't be a video about the White Album without mentioning Charles Manson. Now, if you'd watched my previous video about Helter Skelter, you can see that he thought the Beatles were speaking to him about an upcoming race war between the whites and the blacks in the civil rights era called Helter Skelter. Now, he also thought that Revolution 9 was talking to him. So when I'm just going to play this bit here. Clearly, John Lennon was having fun in the studio mixing all that. Just there when John Lennon was screaming right, Charles Manson thought that he was saying rise, as in rise, the army, an uprising for the Helter Skelter war. So the song's called Revolution, so I mean, saying rise would be a lot more understandable than what he got from Helter Skelter, but still, a bit of a wacky man. I'd have loved to be in a fly wall on that studio session. I mean, there's an earlier video where John Lennon and Yoko Ono are just screaming at each other, and George, I think it's either George or Ringo, like, shut up! And that kind of, it would have been a lot like that, I think. So guys, just a quick video today. This is definitely a song that divides opinion, and you'll either hate it or you'll love it. Let me know in the comments what you think. Do you love it? Do you hate it? Any fond memories of it? So could you please like, subscribe and comment please? It would really help me along. Thank you.